piece of it, all right?
Yeah.
Well, that's
one
YouTube.
part of it. That's YouTube.
Facebook, I don't have an explanation for. Facebook is on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Can
Yes,
you
it
hear
is.
me now?
Well, I would check the connection to that in the back of that red cord in the back of that small thing. Anybody know any tech guys who want to help us out? Because we need it.
I cannot
Are
help
we?
you at all.
What's our thing over there? Because we're not even popping here.
This, I'm not so sure.
Can you hear me now? No.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not even seeing anything on here.
Yeah, nothing.
OMG.
Nothing still. Can't hear. Sound is awful. Well, that's not good.
That's not good at all. All right.
Let's
take a pause on the audio.
Yeah. We'll
roger that.
All right. I don't know why.
There we go. I got it.
Boom.
Got it. Boom.
Boom,
It was,
boom, 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 boom.
it was in the wrong hole. Can you hear me now?
I hate that.
Hello, world. Did we do a sound check?
Actually, I
guys?
think I know. Let's.
What? What's wrong?
I wonder if it's
Are we
going
back?
through that mic.
Oh, yeah. See if you can change that.
Yeah. We'll see. What do we got?
Should we come back in a minute?
Sounds awful. Yeah, we're gonna shut this down and we're gonna do it again real quick. So we'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
It's all my fault.
We'll just keep that going.
Yeah, nobody watches YouTube anyway.
No. Only the entire world.
Yeah, not us. We have like 5 views on YouTube.
So
It's not
let's
good.
see. Back, forward.
So what's going on? This
gonna
little
do
camera
this.
here has a mic. That's
Yeah, it pops up as the microphone.
I'm gonna copy that.
Default microphone all the
We're
time.
gonna go to this. We're gonna right click.
I can't even work
We're
my
gonna
cell
paste.
phone. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Well, instead of using the microphones,
Mm-hmm.
it's using the camera, the webcam's microphone, which is awful.
At
And that's the problem. We need to write a little sticky note on that thing.
yeah.
Right.
Live video.
Chris, I'm impressed that you
Let's see. Oh, it's on focus, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it it could be that the microphone is not turned off on the webcam too, and that's now that it probably has better sound now.
You can see it.
Yeah, so it's probably all set now.
All right.
Okay,
We're back.
Starting to think it wouldn't
Hopefully
be
it
life on
sounds
less
better.
terms if we didn't have to deal with little technical difficulties in the beginning.
I'm just trying to
Hey,
get
listen.
confirmation from our off-site tech person.
We had a
AKA
great
Kristen.
we had a great run there for
Yeah.
a while, but now we're it seems like it's happening all the time. But
like I said,
All right.
it's all
do,
my fault.
do we sound any better? Anybody?
nobody's watching.
Nope.
anymore.
Staticky.
Ugh.
Same.
Wow. Oh, you know what? Is it blasting? Is that the problem?
Hello.
All static.
All static.
All static
Start
all the time.
static, end up at the shattuck.
Boom.
I don't know what's going on. Very fuzzy. Hi, Seth. It's fuzzy. So what are we missing here?
I just don't know. Everything's set
A
correctly.
technician.
Everything's set correctly. I don't know what it would be. I mean, I turned it way down over here, so it should be sounding better now. Maybe it's better now. Yep, those connections are correct.
You sound like static robots.
I wonder if it's just Facebook.
Yeah, because we've had an issue with them before.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, we're all correct. All of our stuff is correct.
No. I disagree.
Well, I think Facebook is
Our
screwed up.
audience disagrees.
We're plugged into the wall. Yep.
Did we start a new
I'll tell you.
recording?
Price just went up.
Well, I'm not here. That's recording now. Is it better now?
I don't know.
Can you hear me
Hello?
now? Should be better now, peoples.
Anything? Bueller?
Bueller. Ladies and a gentle peoples.
Yeah,
Help.
because it has to go through there to here, correct?
Yeah,
Help me.
but I don't think it has to be recording. But maybe,
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
We're getting. We got bubbles. We'll see.
Bubbles are good. Just
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do.
It still says it's bad?
No, it says nothing on YouTube.
Oh, nothing on YouTube. Well, we just plugged YouTube in, so.
Yeah.
we're sorry to the 4 people that are watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
We
I
see
mean,
you for.
We might
and we
not
thank you.
be able to worry about YouTube, I guess. We
They
might
could
have to
also
just-
find us on
Yeah,
Facebook.
I guess
right?
it's still the same on Facebook.
Still the same on Facebook?
Ah,
Wow.
So I won't be singing tonight.
I don't know. What do we do? Try it one more time?
Yeah, we can try starting the
So-
feed again. That's probably
So what we're going to do here.
the best bet. Gonna have to edit this audio.
Yeah.
Sorry, people. I don't know what it. I don't really know what it is. I think it's the feed. Start a
me.
new feed.
It's me.
It sounds like ear rape.
Oh, no. Come on.
All right. We're going to try
One
more time. I'm just going to shut everything down. And we'll end this. Bye.
See
Yeah.
you next week.
Probably when you restart it, it'll be okay.
Yep.
I'm going to close it.
That's what old
Done.
people do.
Yeah.
You know,
Close it.
that's the answer to everything.
Restart.
Just shut it
Technology,
off and
restart.
turn it back on.
Exactly.
Do you know what it's doing when you do that? You're clearing the RAM, random access memory, the RAM.
So it's important.
It does. It works.
Oh, boy.
And that's what every single technician tells every single old person that calls in. Have you restarted it? Unplugged it? Plugged it back in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's working now. That's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
it's like solved everything.
We just canceled our cable because of an episode like that.
Yep.
We unplugged the cable cord to use it in the Xbox.
Yep.
My kid wanted to play the Xbox for a couple hours, and we played the Xbox for a couple hours. Tried to plug it back in, wouldn't work.
Huh.
Spent an hour on the phone with the lady, wouldn't work. We said, you know what? We don't need cable. Oh yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. I think you got to double click. Nope.
Yeah, it's doing solo.
Yep, it's on the solo. So it should be all set.
Talking to the mic there.
There it is.
There
yeah, we should have.
It's registering
sound
on there.
or
So.
Something
no.
going on here.
All right, let's try this one more time.
Test 1, 2.
Cameras, Brio, Focusrite.
Cameras Brio.
Oh.
Focusrite. Yo.
So it's probably just the feed need to be started again.
Yeah, hopefully that's all it needed to be done.
Well, I'm sure people are
Because
going to get back to us.
I can barely see it in there now.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense. Yep. Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant. All right, we're
Hello.
live now.
We're back again.
We're back, and hopefully it's sounding fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully it was just a glitch.
Glitch in the Matrix, you know what I mean? Deja vu.
So,
Matrix is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
It's a
me
great,
too.
Great movie.
so again, we're LOL terms.
Life on life.
Life on
terms.
life terms. LOLterms.com.
LOL.
I don't know. How do we sound? Does it sound any better? We've
Anybody?
had some.
Can you hear me now?
We've had some issues.
Hola. Buenos tardes.
So if anyone listening can let us know how it sounds, would appreciate it.
Is there anybody out there? All right,
So tonight
Sorry,
we have
people. Sarge.
Saj
Sarge.
for the third time. It still sounds the same.
Oh,
So I don't know what's going on.
it's the guest.
Wow,
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do?
it's a bummer, dude.
You think it's my pacemaker?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
Anything?
all,
Better? No.
it's all,
It's, we
it's
might
all-
just end up
it's all in the game.
recording the.
The audio podcast. I don't know. Everybody switch over to YouTube.
What's different on there? Nothing, right?
Nothing.
We've set this up
Nothing.
a million times in
Some-
the same way, and I don't know.
Somebody help me. Help. Please send help to the recovery center.
Not sure what the issue is.
They got me here.
So-
and, I don't know what's going
It's
on.
getting
but
a little frustrating now.
help.
Let's see. Nope.
What's that say?
That's, I think, from another video, from one of our other 5 videos that we've done tonight.
The ones that went good.
Yes. We're not even live. Oh, cool.
What?
I wonder if it's the internet here. Let me see. What I'm going to do is go on Facebook and see what we're doing.
Boom.
Yeah, says live. Yeah. Hear what we sound like?
No. I don't see any movement. For live.
Broadcast interrupted. Yeah, so
Oh,
It's the internet here, huh?
yeah, it's got to be.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
I
can't be
think-
anybody else using it right now. It don't make no sense. All right. Well,
We're not going to drink over it.
no, absolutely
So
not.
we should just
Just do the
do it.
audio.
Yeah, just run it,
Yep.
and we'll. Yeah, 'cause I mean this says I'm live, but that don't mean squat.
Yeah. I mean, we've come to the end of our rope.
Yeah.
You know what they say? Give man enough rope.
Thinks he's a cowboy.
Yeah, I don't know. So what are we gonna do?
Well, let's hear Saj's story.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just
Fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy,
Fuzzy.
fuzzy, wuzzy. What?
This is my story in fuzz.
It's not going to be fuzzy when we release it on iTunes.
Yeah, 'cause that.
Ooh,
That's different.
That's different, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be beautiful.
Yeah, people are still joining, but we're not even live. I have no idea what's going on here. So
Still Sarge, still an alcoholic, still
Yeah.
an addict.
There you go.
we will.
A fuzzy one at that.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens.
And now
Yeah.
I have the coughs, which I didn't have initially. I stopped coughing.
All right. So you were born very young.
I was very young when I was born. Like seconds turned into minutes, turned into hours.
So we're gonna try again.
That's when my life
Yeah,
was good.
I mean, we'll just keep it going on the computer and see how this goes.
All right.
Because I switched the
Yep.
two.
If it
Okay.
doesn't work out, we could do it again another
Yeah.
time. So
It is what it is.
All right, so focus rate, blah blah blah, live,
3, 2, 1.
and we're back
We're back
again. I don't know.
We have no idea.
So we're just gonna rip it off so that we can have our audio podcast because we never have a problem with that. So
Yep.
what's
Sarge.
the dealio?
Sarge, still an alcoholic, still an addict.
So
Yeah.
you
You grew up in Southie.
grew up in Southie,
I did.
typical corner kid
Projects.
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 A lot of corners.
The
Yeah.
the Prugies.
Yeah.
Fuji's. It was all good. Good community. Great people.
Yep.
And I guess it's part of my story, and when I go to meetings and stuff, I'm always like shocked by, not shocked, I'm actually, people say, I'm so-and-so, I'm from Southie. It's part of their story.
Oh yeah. Well, people are very
you know,
proud.
and-
I've noticed.
People joke about it, like, oh yeah, why did they say that?
We got a arm and thumbs up, so I don't know.
So maybe
Hopefully
we're
it's
on.
working. Yeah,
Cool.
They can hear us,
Yeah.
maybe.
maybe. Okay, that's cool.
So what do you
Anyways.
feel about? How do you feel about it? You feel there's a stigma attached to it, or people have a certain attitude towards your
And
place
no,
of
I'll
upbringing?
just say this: the Southie you grew up in is not the Southie of today.
Right, it's a different place. So
very,
I-
very different.
So here's how I feel about it. I feel like it's definitely part of people's story. So as much as it's as much as you hear it at meetings and stuff like that, sometimes, and people are like, why do they say that?
Yeah.
Or I'm so and so, and I'm from Dorchester.
yeah, yeah.
It's like it's
Right.
part of their story.
Right.
It
And they're
means something.
proud. They're proud of to be
They're
from where
proud,
they're from.
and like for me, for instance, when I was very young, my first exposure to drugs and alcohol were right in my own neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was early 70s, and people were just coming back from Vietnam.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
come out of my house, soldiers in the hallway,
Oh, really?
shooting up,
Wow.
smoking weed, drinking.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, that's like what we saw, and that's
As
how
a
it
young
was.
kid.
And, yeah,
Hey.
and it was a well-established, drinking town, and
Yeah.
a bar and a church on every corner. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
and in between those was a couple packies.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's definitely it's a small part of the story, but it's a part of the story.
Yeah.
I don't always let people know where I'm from. They kind of just put it together, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah. We went to a program with Billy Stanley. He's probably about your age. Was right?
Yeah.
Passed away.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy. I knew him very well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Last time I seen him, he didn't look too well.
He was a good guy.
Last time I seen him, he was in a paper Johnny, just escaped from the hospital. He asked for a ride to Lord and Taylor so he could re-up.
So yeah. So we're in a treatment center with him, and
Hey.
all of a sudden, like, all these black cars start coming down the driveway, and then there's like guys at every corner.
Tauruses.
Yeah.
Tauruses with green plates
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
they were.
Yeah.
So he comes to the house with a screamer.
Yeah.
No detox. The director at the time was like, "Nah, he can come in." And he was just kicking for days, and then finally he was like, you know what? I'm not putting everybody through this. I'm going out. Left, came back a little while later, and
When I found out that he
Did the
passed
treatment.
away, I was like, yeah, right, because it was like the 15th time that I had heard that,
Oh, I know exactly that feeling. Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, no, he didn't. He's gonna live forever.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so that was the beginning. That was the first, like, sights and sounds and smells, so to
Yeah,
speak.
a lot of people came back from
That.
Vietnam on heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't really think much of it at that point, and then as I got older, we had, we'd go to the suburbs for holidays. We'd go down to Middleborough to my aunt's house, and I think that was the first time that I ever had a drink.
Yeah. How old?
Oof. Maybe 8,
Yeah.
7,
Whoa.
8, steal a couple beers, Schlitz,
Yeah, Schlitz.
run out into the woods, that
Yeah.
warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yep. Suck him down real
Really,
quick.
I really don't remember much. It wasn't really like, it didn't like blow me away or anything.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh
I
yeah.
just remember that we did that. And I guess I did get that. I did catch a buzz on it.
You knew what to do with them. You knew what they were all about.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
we were watching everybody around us.
Yeah.
So we did that, and it wasn't until I would say 78, 79, but things started to like take off.
Yeah.
Not crazy, but like innocently. I always feel like my story is like the way it should be, if that makes sense. I know it sounds crazy, but like I just compare to like nowadays, where like kids are in junior high and they go from gym class to fentanyl. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
And
Yeah.
for me, it was
Sucks.
an innocent beginning. Drinking in the woods with your buddies, smoking a little grass. Then sniff a couple lines, maybe trip on some psychotropics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was the progression. The problem was, you get to that fork in the road, you got to make
Right.
a decision which way you're going to go, and I just stayed right on that path.
The fork in the road is what?
Where people decide to like
Yeah.
get your stuff together.
I know.
Choosing an
You got-
identity.
You
Yeah.
got your friends
Yeah.
that
go to
decide.
college,
Yeah.
meet a girl, get married,
So it's
raise
like
a family.
graduating high school.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So you get the guys that are all right. I'm gonna get a union job. I'm gonna
I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do this.
that.
I'm
And
gonna
then you
marry
got
Betty
me.
Sue that I met in high school, and then you got the people that are like, nah, I'm gonna stay this way for a little
I'm
while.
just gonna stay this way forever.
Yeah.
I'm just
Search
gonna
the
see
party.
what else is out there and just keep going until it.
Go for
Yeah,
the
there
party.
we go. Great.
So yeah, like I said, I felt like it was an innocent progression at that point, and all the while it was doing the damage it was supposed to, I guess. And then ultimately, eventually, bigger and better things.
Yeah.
My first experience with heroin was in Los Angeles. Black tar heroin.
Black tar. Yeah.
Back in 1989, 90, around there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And a weird thing for me, and I tell this to people, and not too many people can identify with it, but when I first started doing heroin, I used for like 6 months to a year before I even knew that there was like a problem with it. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember waking up one day and I said to my brother, I don't feel good. I feel like I got a cold. I'm like tired. I'm sick.
I remember.
Cough. I got chills.
I remember the same thing. I
And
was
he
like,
says, "You're dope sick."
mine. It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I said, "Dope sick? What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, you've been using for a while, and now you're dope sick." So we got dope, and I was fine.
Yeah. The runny nose stops. The chills stop.
That's-
Everything.
That's your first run basically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
from that point on, it was like 3-4 days you were sick. After that.
Yep.
So that first
Right.
experience was like stretched out, and then, when you now, if I used tonight, I'd be sick tomorrow.
Yeah, in your
It's
head.
that bad.
In your
it's
head.
that bad.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
The chemistry's all changed around now.
Yep.
I don't even think you can get heroin anymore.
I don't
That's
think
what
you can either. Thank
That's
God.
what I hear. It's
Yeah.
it's fentanyl,
Yeah, everything's.
and
Even the pills. Even if you're trying to get a benzo, it's fentanyl.
they press it into to pills. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from China.
Well, we're in the right place then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much, and then from there then it was just wild. And, when I left Boston and went, traveling about the country, there wasn't really a crazy problem here. But when I came back in like '93,
Mm-hmm.
it had changed. It had changed
Right.
dramatically. You
Oh,
could
in
get-
'93, yeah.
Yeah, you could get, when I left, right, there wasn't crack. People would buy Coke and cook it,
Right.
you know.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
cook up an 8-ball, right? When I came back, you could buy crack anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I just got older and figured out how to find it. But I noticed
that's
that
a
there was like a
possibility.
greater access to it. It was like everywhere. Everything was everywhere. You could find heroin and cocaine and crack and pills.
Yeah, I was out in California from '93 to '95, and I was working with this kid. I found crystal meth out there, but before that, I was working with this kid. He's like, man, I want to smoke some coke. I'm like, all right. I was like, get some. He's like, I can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't get coke? He's like, yeah, I can get coke, but I can't get crack. I was like, so we cook it. He's like, you know how to do that? Yeah. What do you mean? So then I do that, and it's like fucking insane. I end up coming back from California in '95.
So you single-handedly started the crack epidemic.
Yeah.
No, no. But
Thanks, Chris.
like you said, like people didn't know.
Right.
They were like, I was running around with people that were just putting powder in like joints,
Ew.
and it was like it tasted disgusting. I'm
What
like,
a waste.
we did that
What are
like
you
years
doing?
ago. That's
What are
gross.
you doing?
And no, I'm not trying to glorify it by any means, but like
No,
I
it's
showed
so
the kid how to
gross.
do it, and he was like, "Whoa, I didn't know that you could do that."
And then when you came back, how it was everywhere.
Oh,
right?
when I came back, I was trying to get away from crystal meth,
Yeah.
and I found heroin.
Yeah.
I moved back, to Brockton, and in '95 it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and it was bundles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I started
bricks
in
and bundles.
95.
Yeah, bricks and bundles.
I
No one
believe
sold.
I started in '95.
No one
like
sold
that.
grams. Like,
Yeah. No. It was all bricks and bundles.
yeah,
94, 95.
it's
Yeah.
it's like I still had no idea about addiction or anything like that, but
Same.
like I sniffed it for a long time.
Yeah.
And there was these kids coming down from UNH
Yeah.
every weekend, and they'd grab a couple bags and, hey, you mind if we do what we got to do here? Yeah, no problem. Because I was always like, I'll never do that. I'll never do that. And then I was always there when they came over, and one night I had to work, and I come home, and my girlfriend at the time, I knew right away that she had shot it
Wow.
because she was just out of control.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, you shot it, didn't you? Yep. Where is it? I want to do it. Petrified of it before,
Yeah.
but then I seen how messed up she was, and now I want to do it.
Yeah,
And these kids would come down on weekends, and that's it. To do it like 2 times to get like maybe a bundle,
Yeah.
and then they go back up to college.
It's so easy to step lines, once you're doing that, you step to the next line, you step to the next line.
Yeah.
It's just like, and nothing ends up off limits.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're jumping a counter.
Dude,
I never
my
got there.
standard of
No.
living
You
just
know what I
kept
mean?
getting lower and lower and
Yeah.
lower.
And
It's
then,
crazy.
And I had a kid at the time.
Yeah.
I got all these people in my house, and
Yeah.
it's not like it was a shooting gallery, but it was basically a shooting gallery.
Yeah. So guess what happened next?
so you come back from
So
Los
I
Angeles.
come back, it's everywhere, and it's great. It's like you said in Brockton, it's bricks and bundles everywhere, and the North Shore, everywhere. Just
Yeah.
was everywhere. And it was awesome. But something good did happen around that time. Is I got very sick,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
found detox. And I had never even knew that these. Well, I did know. Like my dad used to go as alcoholic. And
To AA.
he'd go to the
Detox.
detox. I just
Okay.
knew like as a kid, he'd go away for a while and sober up, and then come out and drink again, whatever. But I didn't realize how that would work in my life. And my first detox was River Street Detox in Mattapan,
Yep.
up behind the old state hospital. It's very scary, a real creepy building. And I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was okay. And
OG cups.
yeah, whatever they had, it was working. And
Yeah.
and I feel like maybe that set me up for like more misery and more pain, because I was like, wow, like I can get out and use, and then if I get sick, I have a place to go now where they can like fix me.
Oh, that's how you thought of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't look at it like, oh, I don't have to do this ever again. I looked at it like, wow, like I can do it all the time now, because these
Yep.
places exist, and there were so many of them.
Now, did they tell you that you couldn't drink anymore? Was that the first time in detox?
I don't remember what they said.
Yeah.
I just know that they helped me get through the pain that I was in, and they
From
shared messages.
heroin
And
withdrawal.
I did learn one really good thing at the very first detox. There was a nurse that worked there. She was dynamite, black woman. I wish I could remember her name because I'd shout her out right now. But she warned me about methadone.
Oh,
She
really?
was like she worked for a company that dispensed methadone, and she was like, I'm asking all of you, please don't ever do methadone. Don't ever do methadone. She went into this whole long-winded spiel about how bad it is and how bad it is for you, and how it's a government program, so on and so forth. And I took that advice for a long time. I did ultimately dabble in methadone for a while, and then I realized that everything that she said was true. I don't knock it. It works for some people.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. And I saw some things by going through that process that made me realize that the things that she was saying were true. In other words, I go and I'm like, I want to get off dope. So I end up in the methadone clinic down in Boston, and they hit me with my first challenge dose or whatever. I think it was like 40 milligrams.
Yeah.
I went home and I was so high. I was puking. I was so high. And I went back the next day and I was like, okay, let's start the tape. So I'm just doing the detox portion of this program. And they were like, no, we got to bring you up. And I'm like, no, you almost killed me yesterday. I'm good. Let's start taking it down. And
They
like,
wanted
no.
to bring you up.
Yes, this is what they do. So
Gross.
I got them to agree to just keep me where I was, because it was enough. It was enough. And
Wow.
But then here's where the truth came in. I had to meet with a counselor every week or every couple of weeks or something
Yep.
to get my dose. And every time I met with the counselor, they were like, why don't you just go on maintenance? Why don't you just go on maintenance? And I'm like, no.
Really?
I don't want to be on this stuff. I don't
Yeah,
want to
they
be a
did.
part
They were
of
doing the
this.
same thing to me.
Oh,
I just
so
want to get
terrible.
off it. I don't want to be on this stuff, And anyways, that was my experience with that. And I just, so everything that this woman said was the truth.
Yeah.
They really just want to get you on it and keep you on it.
What do
And,
you guys think? Where does that come from? Is it just the nurse at the methadone who's distributing the methadone, or I think it's a nurse, right? I don't know. I never did it. But is she just trying to do good at her job so that she keeps her job? Or
No.
what is it?
I think they're helping people, to be
Yes,
honest with you. I
By
think they're
telling them to
help-
go up in their dose right away?
Yeah, they say, you got to come up.
I don't.
They
Yeah,
got to
I
bring you
mean,
to a certain level to see where you're at, and they can work with you or whatever. But I just felt like everybody I knew that went on just went up and up and up and up.
yeah,
it never really
because. All right,
stops working after a while.
but herein lies the problem. They are just giving a drug addict drugs without any other form of treatment.
Tell the truth, Chris.
It's
Yeah.
if they said, okay, we're going to give you this much and you're going to go here and do this. I mean, yeah, they had groups, but they were bullshit. And when I was on it, part of the protocol was that they prescribed you benzos. Like, doctors would get hung for that now. You know what I mean? Now that they know that those two things together are
will kill you.
Deadly combination.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that much about this stuff back then. You know, I'm sure that there were people that did know.
Yeah.
You know, because this was in the time of you know, out at Brighton Family Practice, the home detox kit. You know,
Right.
You'd go to the pharmacy, they give you 3 days worth of all the comfort meds from detox.
Yeah.
You go home, and then you got to go back in 3 days and get 3 days more.
Get more. Yeah.
You
I
know?
just want to say something real quick, Chris, about you know, I just want people to know that, like, I'm all for Matt. I'm all for harm reduction.
Right.
Like, I've lost so many friends that if that's what's keeping you alive, please keep doing it, because I need them to be here, and I need to know that people can come through the other side on that.
Yes,
and
but
be
don't let
okay.
that be your only recovery
Right.
as well.
That being said, I think that yeah, it's tough, man. I'm all for people staying alive, you know. And
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
because they have a shot, you know. They have a shot.
Right.
And if they're not doing that, they could die, and then that's horrible.
Right. Well, it should be thought of as a high trust profession. You know,
Absolutely.
you have to have checks and balances to make people act as if they were trustworthy, because there's so much money involved. It's
Right.
the medical
Right.
field. You know, it's healthcare. It's pharmaceuticals. It's conniving drug addicts who want
And
to,
yes,
to
and this
get
their
the
whole goal is to
doses.
make money.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
The healthcare in America sucks. I don't care. People can fucking message me about that. It sucks. They don't want to treat they don't want to cure anything. They want to treat it, because when they constantly treat it, they constantly make money. If they cure it, they only make money once.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
therein lies the problem. This is what we're talking about, right? Like the methadone clinic. So let's just say, hypothetically, you have an addict, goes to the methadone clinic and says, hey, I want to
that's
be...
what's going on. Hold on 1 second. There you go.
Come on, man.
Come on.
All
man.
this time. So you go to the methadone clinic, right? You want to get clean. Let's just say, hypothetically, you go there, they dose you, they taper you off, right? All of a sudden, they got no clients,
Right.
That's right.
right? They got to keep you on. They got to bring you up. That's job security.
Right, but they shouldn't be allowed to do that. There should be laws.
I agree. You know?
It's slavery. It's chemical slavery.
Right. Do you ever wonder about, like, other things like cancer? Like, really, we can't
I
solve
don't
this?
wonder about it because I know what happened. They have solved it.
Oh yeah.
A company called Novartis developed a cure for almost all cancers. Almost. It's like seriously effective. It's a gene splicing within a virus that they introduce into the body that attacks only cancer cells. But the word was that it's $500,000 per treatment. Now, when you have to have that kind of money to get cured from something that's going to kill you, there's a lot of ethical and
Yeah.
moral dilemmas involved. Now you're talking about insurance companies wanting to keep that quiet, and it's
Yeah. You know, that affects the global economy if you cure something like that. Just think how many
absolutely.
drug companies and how many people are out of jobs. And
This stuff in this country that they let us use because they know it's going to give us cancer.
exactly.
Like,
Sure.
fucking, you know.
Remember that? Did you see the video with the doctor who was talking about chemotherapy and how 95% of the time it doesn't work, but doctors prescribing it make the most money from it?
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah. Say it's $12 grand, 7's going to the hospital, 5's going in the doctor's pocket.
Right. And it's ineffective.
Yeah.
So-
And it's effective at killing the person it's giving. It's killing everything, including the cancer. You know.
Right.
I will
sometimes.
say it's come a long
Sometimes.
way, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're keeping people alive. Like, back in the day, you got diagnosed and you were gone.
Yeah.
You know, and now...
I mean, it's.
I don't know what the motivation for making that video was. If it's not true, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
The doctor gets on the video in front of the camera and starts spilling all this his guts about chemotherapy and how it's not good and blah blah blah. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's sad.
Wow, we really ran off on that.
Yeah, we did. Sorry.
Yes.
Let's
That
get
was,
back.
That was
So
my
you
first detox.
So you came back from. Oh yeah, you went got in your first detox.
Yeah.
And,
You know, I was warned about methadone.
yeah.
And,
Anyway,
I heeded that warning for a long time.
Very good.
So yeah, and then, you know, then I was on the circuit. You know, then I knew, like I said, I was relieved to know that there are people out there that cared enough to have these places up and running. That when someone was sick, they could go there, ask for help, and they were going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I was really grateful for that. Even though I didn't really understand a lot of, I didn't know what the big book was. I didn't know what the steps were. I didn't know anything. I just knew that there were people that cared. There was a place to go that was safe, and they were going to help you feel better. You know, it may have kept me out there longer, but that's okay because every time I went, I had another shot at learning more. I was introduced more.
exposed to more treatment, more
People would come in,
philosophy
do
of
meetings.
AA,
You know, and
Maybe a
then
little more
slowly-
willingness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slowly
Yeah.
but surely, like things started to sink in. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's this program, you know. And I remember, you know, getting out, and going to my first meeting at St. Bridget's, and going up and getting my first 24-hour chip, and I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
remember my brother and I left that meeting, we're like walking on air, like, this is incredible that this exists, and we didn't know about it all this time.
Right.
You know?
There's actually a way out of this.
Yeah, there's hope. You
Yep.
know?
Wow.
And you know, I suffered for
That's
many
cool.
years from that point on, but I knew in the back of my mind that this place existed. And even to the current day, like, it's still the same. It's still the same. It's still there, and it's still helping people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
And,
beautiful.
I love it. I love everything about it. I see it differently now. Obviously, I've grown and learned a lot, and
Yeah, and you know, you've had times where you've had good stretches of sobriety.
sure, yeah, absolutely. And those weren't always, you know, in the best way, but
Right.
nevertheless, it did create a lot of separation from me and a lot of the painful things I was putting myself through, but not ever really 100%. I mean, till later, you know,
Right.
till I really got into, like, you know, like I had a significant amount of time when I came home from prison in 2005. I put together a significant amount of time, but I didn't change anything about me.
Right.
I didn't do any of the things. I mean, superficially I did. You know, I'd go do an AWOL, and it was, I don't know. I just really wasn't that into it. I really didn't know what it all meant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I never really got into, like,
Working on yourself.
the nuts and bolts of the program. you
Yeah,
know what I
like
mean?
knowing that how important it was to change who you were that came in the door.
Never had another person sit down, take me through the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just white knuckled it, still did everything wrong, you know, still stole, still womanized, still, you know, all of the things, gamble, you know. I
Yep,
did everything but
substituted
drink and
everywhere
drug.
else, yeah.
I did everything but drink and drug.
I did the
And I
same
put
thing.
together a significant amount of time. At the same time, I was learning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Things were sinking in, and I was realizing all these people I were listening to at all these meetings were, like, talking about what I really needed to be doing.
Right. And they had been talking about it.
Right. They had.
It just
And it was sinking in.
yeah.
It's just
For myself, I never listened to it.
right.
You know, I say it all the time. It's not like I walked into a meeting and they took the book off the table and put it away and said, "Oh, don't let this guy see this." No. It was being spoke about. It was happening around me,
Mm-hmm.
but I just either wasn't ready.
You weren't ready to hear it.
You know, and I did the same thing. I put together a significant amount of time of sobriety, and the only difference between myself and you is I did something about it before I picked up. I was ready to kill myself,
Yeah.
like 100%. I didn't want to live the way I was living anymore,
Right.
and but for the grace of God, I ran into somebody that was doing that stuff.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
and God graced me, and I was able to continue on.
Me too. So, from that point, I became a chronic relapser. I think my picture's in the dictionary if you look up relapse. You know, I don't know. I never dealt with the underlying causes, the things that do that to us,
Yeah.
that bring us back out. Like, what is it? What is at the core of your willingness to gamble with your life, really, if you think about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know the stuff can kill you, but you go and do it again, you know?
Well, it's, you know, and I say it all the time, it has such a strong pull, or had such a strong pull. It's so evident that we were under the control of a substance abuse, you know? And it's just, that's one of the things that I think of.
Yeah.
You know, it takes you away from yourself. You're not yourself anymore. You're not
Right.
who you're meant to be. You're not who you were before you started all this stuff. It's incredibly powerful, and the people who don't understand that and never have had an addiction problem, it's almost like an arrogance, like, you know, sometimes, like, whoa, you know, why couldn't you just stop? Or, you know, they just don't understand the power that was there.
Right.
And I can see it. Like, I can look back and I can see that it's just such a strong thing. Once you start using again, it's on.
You got it.
Yeah, we're powerless.
It's a double-edged sword too. Like, you jump in with both feet, you get into it, you know, you're gung-ho, you're in the program, you're going through the book with your sponsor, you're working on the steps, you're doing everything right, you're posting on Facebook, and God is good, and blah, 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 and next thing you know, you're getting high, right?
Yeah.
Now you got to try and come back, right? And your pride
Yeah.
is will keep you out there. Like,
And
Right.
you know,
like, I need to hear this because I don't.
right.
That hasn't happened.
That's why I'm telling you. Chris.
I've like, seriously, like, I
know.
I went to like a couple
need to hear this,
detoxes. I
too.
came in, and I've been here since.
Yeah.
How, I don't know.
Oh, it's so amazing. And I can talk to that because I relapsed quite a bit myself.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing that, like, in the morning you're all gung-ho, in the afternoon you're sticking a needle in your arm, and it happens like that. It's just like your mind's just like the switch flips, and there's no thought process.
Yeah, the shit don't go away, man.
There's no thought process. It just happens.
I know people that had identified themselves as alcoholics and addicts, right? They went to a meeting. They read the big book, right? And they never used again.
Right.
Imagine that.
But also, there's a section in some literature that describes people.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'm familiar.
And like, there's people that you know, if presented with significant evidence, they can stop on
Right.
their own accord.
Right.
You
I
know?
was never presented that
Right.
evidence.
It's like,
It's significant, yeah.
they can
In
see
fact,
it as
I'm
a
still
problem.
searching for, like,
And
that.
or they became physically addicted. Once
Yeah.
that physical addiction
Yeah.
is broken, they can resume to a normal life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not the case for all addicts and alcoholics.
You know, I still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we talked about this the other night. You know, this is, you know, I wake up every single morning, and I pray, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Get on your knees, pray.
Yep. Me
I don't get on my knees. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you. I lay in bed, feels good, and I get in touch with God, and we have a conversation. I have a conversation, and then I've been taught to listen.
Mm.
So I listen. I don't always get a response, but sometimes I do, and it's pretty cool. But then I relapse, right? I go outside and I smoke a cigarette. and I take nicotine into my system because my body is craving it more than any other drug in my repertoire is nicotine. It's
Yeah.
the first thing I do when I wake up. And I feel like such a phony sometimes, right? Everyone's like, oh, it's nicotine. It's legal. It's a cigarette. Well, so is alcohol. Legal. So is marijuana. It's legal, right?
Mhm.
I've decided not to use those things. I can't stop using nicotine. Then what do? I go in my house. I make a nice hot cup of coffee. Nice stimulant to wake me up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I have that coffee with the cigarette because, man, that's good, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy what that does to my mind, though. I'm like, here I am, trying to do the right thing, trying to stay sober. It's a struggle, man.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
people don't look at it
I
as a
feel
mood or mind-altering substance. Bullshit. If you're a smoker and you're fucking aggravated or pissed off, you smoke a cigarette and you're like,
dude, nicotine is stronger than heroin.
oh,
Fact.
Well, here's the thing. It's not getting you high like heroin. It's not getting you high like marijuana or
Can't
or
live without it.
alcohol. I understand that, but when you're using stuff that gets you high, when you're high, you're clouded, right? You're not thinking straight. You're.
Did you ever drink too much coffee?
One leads to the next. I drink way too much coffee every day. But you see what I mean? For me, and I mean, if you can smoke weed and you want to call yourself sober because you're not sticking a needle in your arm, God bless you.
right.
You know what I mean? But to me, it's not worth it because I know
Right.
that the strength of that addiction, I don't want to cloud my mind. It's scary to me. And I don't think it really was good for me anyway. I was a scatterbrain and whatever. But I drink coffee, and I mean, it doesn't ruin my life. I'm not
True.
going to jail. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But it does cost me more money than I'd like to be spending, and I'm fully addicted to coffee.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Glad we're all on the same page. I'm not relapsing every morning by myself.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks, America.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do feel it and I do think about it. You know what I mean? It's like I can't do anything until I go down and have that cigarette. That's crazy to me when I think about it.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
I do know a lot of people that have quit smoking by applying the 12 steps
Oh, really?
to that. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
It's pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't know if that's for me right now, but and the other thing is when you go to detox, right? And you tell the nurse yeah, I want a patch. I want to quit everything. They're always like, whoa, hold on a second here now. Let's get you off the heroin first. Then we can talk about maybe smoke cessation.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And then I never quit. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
working on
then
it.
you-
I'm working on it.
Then you get the patch
I'm
on.
still an
ripping
addict. I'm
butts,
still an alcoholic.
You know,
So
then
whatever little bit I can get away with, I'm gonna try.
right. It's the lesser of.
Well,
the
I think
evils.
that you should probably move to vaping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Baker messed that all up.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Charlie.
Oh,
Son of shit.
and then there's the guys that do chew.
Ooh.
All my buddies had no idea that they would not be able to get flavored chew. I'm like, it's flavored tobacco. You're gonna get straight up Red Man. That's it.
America.
You know, just don't get me started on that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
You know how much the state of Massachusetts was paid last year from the master settlement agreement from Big Tobacco? $243 million. You know
That's
how
awesome.
much? You know how much went to smoking cessation, which all of it is supposed to be allocated for? Not a fucking dime.
Really?
$243 million.
Wow.
So
Well,
whatever. Thanks, Charlie.
yeah.
Yeah. We won't even get on. We won't even get on.
that's a
No,
whole
Charlie,
other
sorry.
podcast.
Sorry,
Please,
Charlie.
absolutely.
He's
Tune
not even
in
good enough for
tomorrow
Starkist.
for the Charlie Baker bashing
Sorry,
podcast.
Yes. No, we'll have a
Charlie Baker.
I got.
bashing
I
podcast.
I would have no problem getting guests for that one.
Yeah. I'm here now, so.
You know. So what's going on now?
Now, life is good. Once again, I am, trying to figure out where I can improve in my recovery. And I think what I've learned is, what I've learned recently is that I still have a lot of unresolved things that I am working through, and I'm getting help for that. I also
So now, would you attribute relapses to never really going that deep, and
no
working
no,
on the
I've gotten them out. I've written them down. I've shared them with people. But I don't think that I've resolved them in a professional kind of way, if that makes any
right.
sense to you.
And I know what you're saying. Like,
You know, you touched upon
There's a-
something
there's
the
a-
other night.
yeah, there's a program that helps you put down your alcohol and drugs and stop self-medicating.
Right,
But there's professional help out there that
exactly.
will help you work on your traumas,
Yeah,
which
childhood
which is
traumas.
why a
Right,
lot of
this is-
people, I'm not going to say everyone, which is
Right.
why
Right.
a lot of people end up turning to addiction. You know,
Exactly.
That's
like
right.
we were talking about suffering and all
Yeah.
that stuff the other night. And
You hit the nail right on the head, though. So, like, basically, you know, you go through the steps and the work and all this stuff, and you do all this kind of work on yourself, and you get everything out, and you know, hand it over to another person, and you know, share that. And what's the end result? Where are you
yeah,
at that
right.
point? And that's great. Don't get me wrong, but you need to know. You need to have more coping skills to deal with that trauma.
Right.
And just that step, going through that process, isn't enough.
Yeah.
For me, for this addict.
And processing those things, because you know
Yeah.
we've had a buddy on here, Mike Gavoni. Like, trauma can be generational. Trauma can be physical. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it gets trapped in your body.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of things out there to help
It's
treat that
trapped
stuff.
up here.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it. It's
Yeah, so okay, now you've written it down, you've talked about it, you told someone, so now it's not as pressing,
right.
but it's still there.
You have to deal with it.
Yes,
You have
it is
to deal
still
with it.
there.
Yeah.
And you know, I shared the other night, like, I'm working with a therapist, you know, did a 4th, did a 5th. He asked me, okay, now think about something on that.
Right.
When you think about that, do you still have a feeling attached to it?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, does it upset you? Does it make you sad? Or, you know, does it frighten you? And I say, yes. Well, then you haven't processed it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
Now-
You ever
think
do
that
therapy.
what
You ever go to therapy?
when during the yes,
Yeah.
couples therapy a lot, but also when I was in the program, and before and after, and yeah, but I think that the biggest thing that I've worked on has been to forgive myself and
Yeah.
to forgive other people as I forgive myself, because they're human and I'm human, and it's okay. It's okay. We're all in this learning process.
That's trauma.
yeah.
Yeah.
You realize that, right? Not the inability to forgive ourselves.
Right.
It's trauma.
Exactly. When I before I worked on myself, I would look back on my life and I would remember times where I did something that I wasn't proud of, and or I was embarrassed about, and there would be this uncomfortable, bitter feeling that would make me want to get up and walk somewhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
The suffering.
and just when I look back and I think of that person,
Yeah.
you know, give myself a hug in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay. I was just human. I was just in this learning process. I was just young. I was just didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm still that person. I'm still don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning and I'm still growing. It's okay. And so's everybody else. The guy who cut you off today, the guy who pulled some shitty move and stole something from you, whatever it is. He's like me. She's like me.
Mm.
We're learning.
Mm.
We're okay.
Absolutely.
It's okay. these are the things that happen.
Yeah.
And it's not about what happens to you. It's about how you react. Right.
And we pick up tools along the way. Like now it's like I'm looking at mindfulness. I'm looking at treating others with compassion and love.
God, it's such a relief when you can really practice mindfulness. I mean, it's a practice. It's difficult.
Really.
Yes.
And I go through periods of time where I'm totally not present
Right.
at all.
Right.
And then other times when I can just sit there and just be, like, in a state of mind where I'm not judging the present moment.
Yes.
I'm just letting things come into me. I'm not judging
Yes.
myself in the present
Right.
moment. I'm not thinking about myself in the past and judging myself. I'm not worried about the future. I'm just thinking about what's happening to me.
In the here and now, like what this moment, and when you can practice that all the time,
It's just blissful.
yeah, exactly.
If
Like
you can stay sober for 24 hours, you're an absolute miracle.
right.
24 hours, you're a miracle.
But I don't. I've been that guy that's like dry. I don't want to be dry.
I don't want to be dry. So
You
if I
know.
could sum up my story real quick, I would say that the elements that I'm looking for now are professional help, which I have, and I'm seeking and working on, and just more. I need to arm myself with more, right? Because this disease is so incredibly powerful.
It'll sneak in any way it can.
I love AA and NA, and I love the 12 steps, and I love the 12 book, 12, all that. There's got to be more. You have to do more. You have to, just get into everything that you possibly can get your hands on to arm yourself.
And even those programs tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at now.
They tell you that, but not everyone puts that together. Like if you can rock 12 step and live that and you stay sober, awesome. Congratulations. But for myself, I need to constantly be feeding my soul.
Well, I think
with
that
whatever I can.
The book tells us that resentment was the number one offender. I think that either right next to that or along with that or might be a part of that is discontentment. Discontentment with life.
Yeah.
Just everything. Who I am, what I'm doing, what the decisions I've made.
Yeah.
That's what creeps in. And it creeps in. And
always thinking that things could be better. Why not be
Exactly.
okay with how things are?
Exactly.
Be okay with how things are.
It's acceptance of the present
Yes.
moment. Because what happens with me is I get depressed because I think I should have done this, or I should be doing this. I should be here by now. I shouldn't have done this. or
Oh,
whatever
trust
it
to
was.
believe I've been there.
And this is where the discontentment.
Yep.
And then the discontentments when I was, closer to back when I was relapsing all the time. That's when the fuck it's come in. You discontent. You're not happy. Well, fuck it then.
Yeah.
And
Why am I even bothering?
but at least I have awareness of this
But
this
also
process and some
that's
time
the
away from it.
disease too.
Right.
That's
You
exactly
you get in the
disease, yeah.
fuckets and it's like, I see, I can get in there.
I got you.
And,
That's right.
I'm reading Refuge Recovery and they call that Mara.
Yeah, Mara. Yeah.
It will work its way in any way it can. Buddha had to deal with Mara, and it's I don't know.
There you go. We need to.
We got to wake up.
We got to do everything possible to
Yes.
address what our needs are, so we don't have
Because
to
it's
suffer
not gonna
anymore.
it's not gonna stop.
Right.
Never will.
All right. Well, that
Yeah.
was interesting. I think
Yeah.
we just did an audio, and not we did go YouTube.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And it looks like we're
we're
having
still going
sound, but we
YouTube.
don't know yet.
We don't know.
So,
It's all good.
but yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you showing up and
It's my
sharing with
pleasure.
us.
I'll come back
Yeah,
anytime.
thanks.
Yeah.
You know.
And hopefully we can square things away. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a take 2, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, people.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Ah.